My name is Sarah Bennett. I'm 30 years old. 3 days ago, I died. At least, that's what everyone believed. But I survived something impossible. And when I finally came home, I saw my husband and my daughter sitting on the roadside with bags packed beside them. And what my husband said next didn't just shock me. It destroyed everything I thought I knew about my life. Before I tell you what actually happened, take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel and tell me your country in the comments. Now, let's begin. The moment my car lost control, everything went silent. I was on a narrow road, far away from the city. I had planned this trip for weeks. An old friend of mine had moved out there, into a quiet place surrounded by hills and open land. Life had been so busy lately, and I kept delaying the visit. But that morning, I finally decided no more delays. I got in my car and drove out to meet her. The road was almost empty. No traffic, no noise, just long stretches of turns and the sound of the wind brushing against the windows. It felt peaceful. I even remember smiling to myself, thinking how badly I needed this break. And then it happened. I pressed the brake. Nothing. At first, I thought I didn't press hard enough. I tried again, harder this time. Still nothing. A cold wave rushed through my body. My hands tightened on the steering wheel as the car began to pick up speed. The road ahead curved sharply, and beyond that curve, there was nothing but a deep drop. No, 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 I whispered, my heart racing so fast it felt like it would burst out of my chest. I tried everything. Pumped the brakes. Pulled the handbrake slightly. Turned the wheel carefully. But the car wasn't responding the way it should. It was like I had already lost control, like something had already decided what was going to happen next. The edge came closer. And in that moment, I knew if I stayed inside that car, I wouldn't survive. Everything slowed down. My mind went straight to my husband and my daughter. Her little face, the way she laughs, the way she runs to hug me every evening. I couldn't let that be my last memory. So I made a choice. Just before the car reached the edge, I opened the door and jumped. The impact knocked the air out of my lungs. My body rolled hard against the rough ground, sharp pain shooting through my arms and legs. For a few seconds, I couldn't even breathe. My ears rang, my vision blurred, and then a loud explosion echoed behind me. I turned my head slowly and saw flames rising from below. My car had fallen into the valley, and it was burning. For a moment, I just lay there staring. If I had waited even one more second, I closed my eyes, trying to steady my breathing. My body ached, but I was alive. Somehow, I was still alive. I don't know how much time passed after that. Maybe minutes, maybe longer. Everything felt distant, like I was half awake and half dreaming. I remember voices, footsteps, people calling out. Local villagers had found me. They carried me carefully, speaking in worried tones I could barely understand. My head was spinning, and I didn't have the strength to say much. I tried to tell them my name, but my voice came out weak and broken. They took me to a small house nearby. It wasn't a hospital, just a simple place. But they did what they could. Cleaned my wounds, gave me water, let me rest. My phone was gone, probably lost in the crash. For the next 2 days, I stayed there. I wasn't badly injured, but my body was exhausted. Every movement hurt. My head felt heavy, and sometimes I would just lie there, staring at the ceiling, trying to piece everything together. And all I could think about was my family. They must be worried. My husband must be calling me again and again, wondering why I wasn't picking up. My daughter, she would be asking where I was. Maybe she was waiting by the door, expecting me to come back any moment. The thought of them like that, it hurt more than any injury. I need to go home, I kept telling myself. By the 3rd day, I felt strong enough to move properly. I thanked the people who helped me. I didn't even know their names, but I'll never forget what they did for me. Then I started my way back. The journey felt longer than before. Every step carried a strange feeling I couldn't explain. Maybe it was just exhaustion, or maybe something inside me already knew that things weren't right. When I finally reached my street, I slowed down. Something felt off. And then I saw them. My husband sitting by the side of the road. My daughter beside him, crying quietly. There were bags next to them. Not small ones, proper packed bags. Like they had nowhere else to go. For a second, I just stood there, trying to understand what I was looking at. Why were they outside? Why did they look like that? I took a step forward, then another. My daughter looked up first. Her eyes widened. Mama? My husband turned his head slowly. The moment he saw me, his face changed completely. It was like he had just seen something impossible. Something he couldn't believe. He stood up quickly, staring at me like I wasn't real. For a few seconds, none of us spoke. Then finally, in a quiet, shaken voice, he said, "They said you didn't survive." For a moment, I just stood there staring at him, trying to understand what he meant. My mind was still catching up with everything, the accident, the pain, the long journey back, but this didn't make sense. "What are you talking about?" I asked softly, my voice barely steady. "I'm right here." My daughter ran toward me and wrapped her arms around me tightly, crying into my clothes. I held her close, feeling her small hands gripping me like she was afraid I would disappear again. My heart ached instantly. I'm here," I whispered, gently stroking her hair. But my eyes stayed on my husband. He still looked shaken, like he couldn't fully believe I was standing in front of him. "They told us you were gone," he said again, this time slower. "They said your car fell into the valley, that it exploded. The police came, they said no one could survive that." I swallowed hard. "They didn't even find a body," he continued, his voice tightening. "But they said after a fire like that, there was nothing left to find." A heavy silence settled between us. "So, you just believe them?" I asked quietly. "It wasn't just me," he said, running a hand through his hair, clearly overwhelmed. "Everyone believed it. Your family, they came immediately. They handled everything so fast. I didn't even get time to think." Something about the way he said that didn't sit right with me. "Handled what?" I asked. He looked away for a second, then back at me. "Everything," he said. "The house, the documents, even the funeral arrangements." My chest tightened. "What do you mean, the house?" He let out a slow breath, like he had been holding all of this in for too long. "The next day after the accident, your parents and your brother came," he said. "At first, they were acting normal, upset, emotional, just like anyone would be." He paused. "But then things changed." I felt a strange uneasiness creeping into my chest. "They started asking questions," he continued, "about the property, about the house, about the papers." My heartbeat slowed, but not in a good way. "And then?" I asked. His voice dropped slightly. "Then they started accusing me." My eyes widened. "Accusing you of what?" He looked straight at me now, his expression serious, tired, almost broken. "They said I had something to do with your accident." For a second, I couldn't even react. "What?" I whispered. "They said it didn't make sense," he continued. "That I was the last one with you. That we had arguments before. That the house was in your name, and I would benefit if you were gone. That's insane," I said quickly, shaking my head. "How could they even?" "They didn't stop there," he cut in gently. I fell silent. "They said they had proof." That word hit differently. "Proof," I repeated slowly. He nodded. "Old messages, small arguments, things taken out of context," he said. "And your brother, he even said he had people who saw us arguing recently." I stared at him, feeling a mix of shock and anger building inside me. "That's not proof," I said firmly. "I know," he replied. "But they didn't care about the truth. They just needed something that sounded believable." I could feel it now. Something was very wrong. "What did they want?" I asked. He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he looked at our daughter, still holding onto me tightly, then back at me. "They told me if I didn't leave quietly," he said slowly, "they would go to the police." My stomach dropped. "They said in cases like this, the husband is always the first suspect," he added. "That the police wouldn't wait for full proof. They would arrest me first." I felt a chill run through my body. "And our daughter?" I asked, my voice softer now. His jaw tightened. "They said if I got arrested, she wouldn't stay with me." I looked down at her, still holding me, and something inside me broke a little. "They said they would take her," he continued. "That it would be safer for her to away from someone who might have killed his own wife." The words felt heavy, ugly, wrong. So, you just left? I asked, though now I already understood the answer. He shook his head slowly. I didn't leave because I was afraid for myself, he said. I left because of her. He gently touched our daughter's head. I couldn't risk it, he continued. I couldn't let them take her away from me. I closed my eyes for a second, taking it all in. So, they forced you out, I said quietly. They gave me no choice, he replied. They changed the locks, packed our things, and told us to go. I opened my eyes and looked past him, toward the house. My house. But something about it felt different now. Cold. Distant. Like it didn't belong to me anymore. They're inside, aren't they? I asked. He nodded. They've been living there since the second day, he said. A strange silence fell again. Everything had happened so fast. Too fast. My accident, their reaction, the accusations, taking over the house. It didn't feel normal. It didn't feel right. I looked back at him. And no one questioned this? I asked. No one thought this was too quick, too convenient. He gave a small, tired smile. When people believe you're dead, they don't ask many questions, he said. That line stayed with me. For a few seconds, I didn't say anything. I just stood there, holding my daughter, looking at the house, trying to understand how everything had changed in just 3 days. Then slowly, I took a deep breath. This is my house, I said quietly. My husband didn't respond, but I could see something shift in his expression. Not fear, not doubt, just hope. I looked straight ahead now, toward that door. And without saying another word, I started walking. Each step felt heavier than the last, but this time, I wasn't confused anymore. I knew exactly what I was walking into. The gate creaked open as I pushed it slowly. Everything looked familiar, yet nothing felt the same. The air itself felt different. Cold. Unwelcoming. I reached the door, paused for a second, then knocked. Once. Twice. Footsteps approached. The door opened. And there they were. My mother. My father. My brother. All standing there, staring at me like I wasn't supposed to exist. Their faces turned pale. My mother's lips parted slightly, but no words came out. My brother stepped back without even realizing it. Silence filled the space between us. I looked at each one of them slowly, carefully. Then I spoke. Surprised? My voice was calm. Steady. Too steady. We thought. My father tried to speak, but his voice failed him. That I was dead? I finished for him. No one denied it. I took a step inside. No one stopped me. You moved fast, I said, looking around. 3 days, and everything changed. My mother finally found her voice. We had no choice, she said quickly. We thought you were gone. We had to take responsibility, handle things. Handle things? I repeated, turning to face her. For safety, my brother added. There were too many questions. The situation didn't look right. I stared at him. What situation? I asked. He hesitated, then said it. The accident, the fire, him being the last one with you, he said. We had to think about everything. So your solution, I said slowly, was to throw my husband and daughter out of this house? It wasn't like that, my mother said, shaking her head. We were protecting what's yours. Protecting your property. By taking it? I asked quietly. No answer. We were also thinking about your daughter, my father added. Her safety matters. That was enough. Before I could respond, the door behind me opened wider. My husband walked in. They all turned toward him instantly. And the moment they saw him, something shifted. Shock turned into discomfort. He didn't look angry. He looked calm. But there was something in his eyes, something stronger than anger. Truth. He stepped forward slowly. No, he said. The word was simple, but it cut through everything. This wasn't about safety, he continued, looking straight at them. And it wasn't about responsibility either. Silence. He took another step. This was about greed. No one spoke. No one even tried to interrupt. You didn't even wait, he said, his voice steady but heavy. Not even a few days, not even a little hope that she might come back. My mother looked down. My brother clenched his jaw. You came into this house like it already belonged to you, he continued. You packed our things, threw us out, and then told me I'd be arrested if I didn't leave quietly. My father tried to respond. We were just being cautious. No, my husband said again, firmer this time. You were being selfish. The room went completely silent. You used fear, he added. You used lies. You used her death to take everything. Those words landed hard. No one had an answer, because there wasn't one. I stood there listening, watching, and something inside me became very clear. I took a slow breath, then stepped forward. This house, I said quietly. All eyes turned to me. This house is mine. My voice didn't shake. It has always been mine. I looked at each one of them again. And no one takes it from me. The silence deepened. My family lives here, I continued. Then I paused. My real family. That made it clear. My husband and my daughter, I said. Not them. Never them. I walked closer to the door and opened it fully. The message was clear, but I still said it. You should leave. No one moved. So, I repeated it. Leave this house. My brother looked at my father. My mother's eyes filled with something. Maybe regret, maybe fear. But it didn't matter anymore. From today, I said, my voice calm but final, I have no relationship with you. That hit harder than anything else. No calls. No visits. Nothing. Silence. Heavy. Final. You showed me everything I needed to see, I added. For a few seconds, no one moved. Then slowly, one by one, they walked out. No arguments. No more excuses. Just quiet footsteps, leaving behind everything they tried to take. The door closed. And just like that, the house felt like mine again. I turned around. My husband was standing there, watching me. My daughter ran toward me again, hugging me tightly. This time, I held her even closer. Not out of fear, but out of certainty. Some people wait for the right time to show who they are. Others don't even wait that long.